Thomason. If you're an American and you work, give yourself a nice pat on the back.
Worker productivity increased at an annual rate of 3.3% last quarter, a rebound from the first quarter when productivity had fallen. Labor costs fell at a 1.4% rate, suggesting wages aren't rising even as unemployment declines. Even with the strong gain in the second quarter, productivity over the past year has increased by just 0.7%. That's far below the long-run average of 2.2%.
Correspondent Wally Hines. Apparently, not even the baby monitor is safe from those wily computer hackers. Leading cybersecurity firm says several of the top internet-connected monitors lack basic security features. Researchers found security problems, design flaws in all of the cameras tested. Some had hidden, unchangeable passwords could be used to gain access. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their two locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has two locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Vick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us. This is Sports Scene right here on News Talk 1650. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer as we are into September. Already September 2nd right here in the world. Hard to believe it. Sports Scene's an interview show every Wednesday from 12 to 1. Don't forget sports highlights on TV. Also, nnpstv.com. This show can be heard anywhere on tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. This is your home for talk radio in Hampton Roads. Also tell your friends about 1650, which is now the new home of the Baltimore Ravens for the 2015-2016 season. So congratulations to that and good luck to the Ravens this year as well. Of course, I stay neutral and of course play no favorites, but we want to see the Ravens do well. Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, HR Online Mall. Go to gjbtv.com. You can see all my Twitter handles right there. Thank you to our military as well as our great guest lineup today. Casey Vick, the uncle of Michael Vick, will join us live in the studio just like he did last year. Shop on the marketplace sponsors of gjbtv.com as well as the homepage. Guest lineup presented by Fink's Car Care with 2 Southside locations. Phone line presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit. In fact, I'm wearing the t-shirt today. India Palace, Mi Hogar, as well as Spaghetti Eddies. Thanks. Want to thank you as well as Crawl Space and the Newport News Greek Festival. Of course, Ken, nice feature we had. You were on it as well Friday night on Fox 43. Thank you to Brian Parsons. A lot of good publicity from that as well. Thank you for branding both gjbtv.com and hamptonroadsonlinemall.com. A lot of fun what we do in radio and TV each and every day. Congratulations to the Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor, who played for Hampton High School and Virginia Tech, starting quarterback as well. And thank you as well to Brian Parsons. Football is here. Major League Baseball, O's and Nats need to show some urgency now, or they'll both be out of the postseason in 2015. All right, stay tuned. We'll talk to Casey Vick, try to see what's on Michael Vick's mind now as he's playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's also, of course, played for the Falcons. He's played for the Eagles, and he's played for the Jets. We'll see how Mike Tomlin will utilize him in 2015. Stay tuned.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
You know, it's funny, Kenny. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Of course, you guys show that a lot at your theater too, as well. But this is a really nice score right here, and the score really makes for radio, TV, and movies both.
Yeah, Michael Giannacci did a really nice job with this one, and everything else he's done too. But I think he really captured the feel for the reboot with the score he did for it. So good job on that one. The second movie, not so much. Let's hope number 3 turns out a little better.
And the score, of course, in Halloween was always scary. And of course, Star Wars, the score was legendary as well too. You can elaborate on that.
Looking forward to that. That'll be interesting. Inspired by John Williams, but John Williams is not doing the entire score this time. So we'll see how the John Williams influenced but not controlled score does. As so far, the early buzz is it's going to clean everybody's clock as far as the box office.
Wow, and he is the package deal with George Lucas. All right, let's talk football right here. Of course, we do Sports Scene every Wednesday, the only live and local show during a convenient hour in Hampton Roads, right here at News Talk 1650 live on the radio. As we mentioned, you're home for the Baltimore Ravens. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Casey Vick, welcome, my friend.
Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
We had you here last year. I've had you on Sports Highlights, known you for a long time. How are things going for you?
Everything going great. I'm coaching also at Denby High School this year. It's my time of the year. Time to start cutting grass in August, and I start smelling that grass and hot 90-degree weather. It's time to play football, baby.
All right. Yes, absolutely. Of course, fall is almost here. I don't want to quite push the summer away because I still like going to the beach and I like to fish. But all right, let's talk about your famous nephew. Let's before we talk about the past, present, and future, let's talk about up to date right now. He's playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It took a long time before 2015 evolved, but Mike Tomlin had confidence in him, and I think he's at a good fit right now.
Yeah, one thing about Mike, he's always been in physical good condition, so he's ready to do what he got to do. He was in Miami working out, doing what his agent told him to do. So he's been working out hard in Miami, and he's all set to go.
Right, it's a new beginning for him. He's no spring chicken now. That's the thing. Let's be realistic. He's 35 years old. Not many 35-year-olds are playing as a starting quarterback unless your name is Brady or Manning. But the bottom line is he's got an opportunity.
Well, yeah, no doubt. The mobility is still there. Remember just last year he raced against McCoy, and he outran him. So, he haven't lost too much of a step anyway. So, he's still in good shape. He's still in good condition. he can still play the game. He wanted to play it 2 more years, and hopefully it'll go 2 more years or maybe even longer for him. And we'll just see how things go from there.
Yeah, and you talk about it too, the time that he was incarcerated, that did hurt him as far as, or could hurt anybody, because when you don't play for a year, let alone 2 years, people don't remember that Manning didn't play for 1 year either because of his neck injury. At a quarterback or any position, you might get rusty not playing for a few weeks, but a year or 2 years is a long, long time.
Well, one thing about it, though, in football, when you take a couple of years off, sometimes it gives you a chance to rest your body because, playing year after year, you keep on playing and you get banged up and bruised. So, he used that as an opportunity for the rest of his body, continue to stay in the football shape and everything. And it came back to the point where he was able to really, do what he got to do. And I think he's reaping the benefits of just being able now to just continue his success in the football field. He also, want to see what he can do for to help the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whatever he got to do, he's a team player. He's a hard worker. So I'm pretty sure it'll be a good blend for him.
We're talking to Casey Vick. He is the uncle of Michael Vick, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who went to Virginia Tech, of course, and had his ups and downs throughout his life. And we're gonna highlight that. One thing about Casey, I've known him for a long time. There's no questions off the wall. He knows that we're genuine here, and anything goes, and nobody's trying to throw anybody under the bus. A lot of times, the past is best to leave it in the past. But for a long time, growing up with your sisters and stuff, and your mother, you were the elite athlete well before he was even thought of. What was it like, after you went to school, of course, and you played, and then, of course, he started going to Ferguson, even struggled at Ferguson at first under Tommy Riemann, then he gave him some confidence. But as a long time in the Vick family, you were the number one athlete.
Yeah, I played under Coach Baker back in the days, 79 to 83, and it was a good learning process for me. Matter of fact, Michael Vick used to come out to 12th Street in Ivy, and he used to tote my football helmet when I used to bring it home to the house with his Pampers on. And, it's a strange story. But, he grew up into the system. He watched me play football when I was growing up and all that. And he made the best of his opportunity playing for the boys club when he started playing there. Then, like you said, he started JV that was going undefeated when he was under Tommy Riemann there. And they pulled him up in the last 3 games, and he ended up playing Varsy's last 3 games. So he was kind of like put into the Wolves. I think his first game was like Phoebus. So, he was just always a talented athlete. He was always a scrambler. He ran and made his living being a scrambler. And, it was just a natural gift he always had.
People don't realize that in high school or college, he didn't play a full 4 years when you think about it for one team, because he played 2 years at Ferguson, 2 years at Warwick. Then he was, he redshirted, as well. And of course, he played at Virginia Tech. So really, he only played 2 physical years, as well as Marcus only played 2 physical years.
Yeah, when people see your talent, like you said, he was at JV and he played so well in JV. Riemann pulled him up real early. And he was able to. One thing about Michael Vick, he's always able to take on the task that's given to him. You give him a challenge, you give him an opportunity, he always make the best of it. And even when he got to Virginia Tech, he was just so thrilled to be able to be at the point where he had receivers all of a sudden. He had running backs. He didn't have to run all the time, but it was just a good asset now, because it's like if he got good receivers, good running backs, it's like, who's going to cover me? And he used that to his advantage, and he became a good, outstanding college running quarterback.
He really put Virginia Tech, they've always been on the map somewhat, but they really were on the map when they played Florida State. But he redshirted that 1 year, and you and I talked about that Al Clark. That was not easy for him to sit there and watch Al Clark all year.
Well, a deal was made. Coach Riemann said if he go to Virginia Tech, they wanted him to redshirt. They didn't want to be thrown to the wood. They didn't want him to be thrown to the woods right away. So, everybody don't know the trivia question that Michael Vick wore number 18 his red shirt freshman year.
Interesting.
So, then after Al Clark left and then Jones, he ended up getting number 7. But, yeah, they wanted to, it was a deal made between the coaches of Riemann and also Virginia Tech, and that he'll go around, get comfortable, get his feet wet. But, we had no idea he was going to come out and be so successful on the Virginia Tech radar so soon.
Yeah, probably that redshirt year helped him as far as, because that's like 3 full years. But in hindsight, Beamer probably said, he should have probably played that year. So maybe he would have had 3 years as opposed just to 2 physical years.
Well, yeah, Al Clark, they really struggled. He had a knee injury, so he was struggling with a knee injury at the time. But Mike, I used to see him walk in the field, pacing the sidelines, and he was eager to really play. But, a deal was a deal, and he hung with it. And I think it really came to benefit him in the long run, because he was more comfortable. But, even in the practice highlights and everything, he'll call me or I'll call him, and he was saying he threw nice touchdown passes, and he was having a good practice at Virginia Tech also. So it was a deal coming into motion anyway.
You're a person of perseverance, and I've known you for a long time, and what you went through and your family went through, because your sisters are wonderful people, your mother who passed away, yourself, that you guys went through a lot of drama there with your nephew, and you were probably the number one support system for your sister, who was Michael Vick's mother, still is, of course, and she was going through a very, very difficult time where showing your face all the time. There were days that you guys just wanted to hide, and it was a really embarrassing situation, but your family has overcome it. But I think without family and faith, you would not have overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really tough time. It was like a roller coaster. I mean, we were just riding so high at one time, and all of a sudden, when the dog fighting situation hit the fan, I mean, we had to deal with the jokes. We had to deal with the laughter. I'm driving my work van, paint van, and people asking me, do you got dogs in there? And, I mean, it was a whole lot of humility we had to face and everything. I mean, and true, Greg, some mornings I got up and I didn't really want to face the day, because I just knew that, Michael Vick was this big icon, and all of a sudden we had to answer to all the situations that he went through. And it was real tiring trying to explain things and trying to live through things. And sometimes, some people just didn't have no mercy. It was like a time where they can just really throw stuff at you. But, I mean, I love Michael Vick. I love my nephews, and whatever they go through, we was going through it too. Right,
and the thing is, your sister is very transparent. She's on the city council, so she was not ducking nobody.
Yeah. Tina, she had to deal with it, but Tina, she stood strong and firm and everything, and we just believed in what we believed in. And one thing about it, everybody make mistakes, and that's what we kept telling people. And everybody got to make decisions, because these are young guys, turning into millionaires at the age of 23 to 25. So they still young kids, and most of them don't even know the ability that they have within them, and all of a sudden they just thrown all this money for the gift, but they don't have a chance to really mature.
Because a lot of times that money, from all pro athletes, I mean, every walk of life is flushed as soon as they get it. For people that make $50,000 or $100,000 a year that work hard every single day, that's like steak money for them.
Yeah, I mean, I work in the shipyard, and I was making $400 a week, and you couldn't even do that with me. So you can imagine, you give me like $40 million, you probably got to look for me.
All right, well, on a brighter note, let me tell you about a great restaurant on Warwick Boulevard, Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine, future sponsor, of course, Shish Kebabs. Ken, I'm telling you, I've had a lot of food. This was unbelievable. And yes, they are going to be on here a lot. I'm telling you, I had the rice. I had their shish kebab. It was really unbelievable right there on Warwick Boulevard, 10417 Warwick Boulevard. Fresh, authentic food you're not going to see at any other restaurant. They got cold appetizers, hot appetizers. They got stews. They've got all types of meats like turkey, chicken, fish, kids menu, desserts. Unbelievable stews, wraps, everything. Wow. You've got to try it out right on Warwick Boulevard in Hilton Village at Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine. Ken, I'm telling you, there's not many meals that make you say, wow.
I was looking around to see where the samples are.
Yes.
You bring any?
We need to tell the owner to bring some next week.
You got 4 hungry guys in here.
I swear.
I know where I'm going this week.
Yeah, all right. 10417 Warwick Boulevard. Go by and see him. 223-9978. Open daily. Very good place. Talking to Casey Vick right here, the uncle of Michael Vick, Greg Bicouvaris. Glad you're with us. And of course, then your brother, of course, played for a little bit with the Falcons, and then had some good years, made the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, he really enjoyed his experience playing with the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, we, like you say, we were still riding high, doing that at Atlanta Falcon experience and everything. And Mike was really doing well, and he just really enjoyed the NFL platform that he was on and stuff. And I think. He just still enjoying the game. That's why he still want to play a couple of years, because he really loved the game of football.
He's, you've experienced probably more, your family, you and your sister especially, who you're very close to, wonderful lady, the more highs and lows. And then you can see what's happened in life since then with the in Baltimore, for example, all the different police shootings. And lately they've been, nothing is called for. We stop the violence. I mean, nobody wants to see any violence, because that doesn't solve anything. You grew up in the southeast section of Newport News. Still not the most, always, there's no place that's good or bad or ugly, in my opinion. Every place can be very difficult. But what is your message out there for the kids listening in the inner communities? Because it seems like it's escalated more and more, and there's no city in Hampton Roads that's immune from this.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the time I tell people a whole lot of time, we didn't understand, even with the animal cruelty type thing, we didn't understand the value of animals and everything. You can go to the waterfront lumberyard or downtown where we grew up at, and you see stray cats and dogs, and we used to just use them. Sometimes we might just trap them and throw rocks at them and everything. I mean, it was just innocent fun, but we didn't really know that we was really damaging things. So I tell people, when I moved uptown, when I started seeing the PetSmarts and the Carolites, it's like, wow, you go in this, a mall for dogs. So it's a really a big thing. So, I mean, sometimes you just grow up in the ignorance of not knowing really what you're doing, and it's just a really honest mistake that you're making, and you don't realize what you're doing is really wrong.
Who supported Michael when the cameras were off, when he was in jail the most? That must have been a very isolated time for him. Of course, he had a lot of thinking to do, and what he did was wrong, of course, but he had to have support, and obviously, who was making trips to go see him?
Well, his mom was going to see him all the time. I mean, I was working, but I mean, one time it came to a point where his mom had called me. She was crying, and she needed $10,000, and I was able to help her out on that. So pretty much, she used to call me sometime. You have her ups and down days. She used to call me crying and, just going through the struggle, knowing that her son, that was a superstar, all of a sudden he's in jail. Anybody have a son or a daughter in jail, their heart is torn because they going through all that stuff out there. So it was a whole lot of days she called me crying, and some days she just didn't want to face nobody, didn't want to deal with nobody. But, we just prayed for each other, and I just kept her encouraged and everything. And I just tried to do whatever we can, even my family, whatever we can, to keep her going and motivated, because it was really tough on her.
How difficult was that for you when her son was making millions? That I'm sure he took care of her the first few years. What happened that she had asked you for that type of money?
Yeah, I mean, the tides had turned. I mean, they froze his money. The bankruptcy situation came around. His contract that he was into, they just stopped that, cut that short and everything. So all of a sudden, like I say, the success was turned into turmoil. And I mean, it was just like, what can we do now? They locked him up for 18 months. So as long as he was locked up, all his assets and everything was just frozen. So it was like they was just at a what to do situation. But we just prayed and we just made it through, and all of a sudden it worked out.
Yes, it did. And then of course you look back now, he's had a redemption. He got picked up by the Eagles, and Andy Reid, who's had his share of drama, he lost a family member as well. And really, folks, there's nobody immune to drama. Just look at the news every day. Look at the Middle East. Look at the inner cities. Look at the shootings and killings. They go on every single day, well before Michael Vick, well after Michael Vick. And it's just everybody, has to have some type of redemption. Well, the NFL gave him redemption, good, bad, or ugly, and the Eagles gave him that chance.
Yeah, and I really respect Andy Reid for going against, all the people and all the protesters, and he made that sound decision. Even when he went to Pittsburgh, Tomlin even went against the protesters, because they were protesting against that. But I mean, Michael Vick, he's still a member of the SPCA. He helping them out. He's still doing campaigns and drives. Anything he can do to support them, he's 100% behind them. So I mean, I tell everybody, Michael Vick love and care for friends and people really got him in this situation. If he was selfish and it's all about himself, he would have been still good today. But he's a caring guy. He's a guy you can come to and ask him for anything, and he'll try his best to do it. And based on his upbringing and the way he feels for people, it really got him in this trouble.
And I think one thing he realized too, you just can't live wide open.
Yeah.
When you're in the microscope, whether you're a Kardashian or a Vick or whatever, the microscope is going to be on you 24/7. And sometimes you have to eliminate negative people out of your lives. You and I have to do it every day. Mm-hmm. So he has to do it too.
Yeah, and when you grow up and you so used to playing with the guys, at the age of 18 and 19 and 20, and all of a sudden you are this millionaire, and all of a sudden you got to cut these guys off because they don't mean you no good. Sometimes those are the guys that grew up with you, played not it tag and all that kind of stuff, went to the boys club with you and all that. So it's a kind of strange trying to separate yourself, but you got one thing about it. I told him when he first made it in the NFL, when you start making it like that, some jobs require you to mature real fast.
Right, and you're under the microscope, you're on TV, you're on radio, you're on the internet. The athletes today are a lot more scrutinized than the athletes even 10 years ago were.
Yeah, because you got the social media going on now, and they're watching you every step. Everything you do is always under the radar and everything. So you really got to be careful. It's a blessing becoming an athlete these days now, but also if you don't make the right decisions, it can become a curse because all of a sudden you got this social media and all this stuff coming at you so strong.
What we're going to do here up until 1 o'clock, we have a business spotlight scene coming up in a few moments where Casey Vick will stay on with us throughout the hour. We got What Teased Me Off. We're going to have, like I said, highlights coming up, all right here, presented by Hampton Roads and OneLineMall.com. Browse, shop, and visit. Also, save the date for the Newport News Greek Festival coming up in October, NewportNewsGreekFestival.org. So a lot more. We're going to talk more heavy football stuff coming up in the second half hour, getting to the meat and potatoes. But like you said, anybody can look at themselves in the mirror and say, I've not sinned. I want to know who you are. I really want to know who you are because we've all made mistakes. But redemption is really, really good. And of course, people that serve their time, anybody, even in jail now, but if they can be functioning members of society, I think everybody's given a second chance. Look what Bill Clinton did in the White House, folks. Okay, a lot of times he would never be the president, if it wasn't such for a forgiving society. All right, Ken Johnson's got an update for us right here. This is Sports Scene live every Wednesday, noon to 1. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link where you can see the Fox 43 piece and archive shows. Stay tuned.
Let he who is not stoned to cast the first sin. No. Wait a minute, I think I have that confused. We have the crash in Norfolk, 64 westbound, just past Chesapeake Boulevard. It's got the right lane blocked off and the right shoulder as well, so exercise caution. Looks like they might have that cleared up before too much longer. Otherwise, a steady roll of traffic just about everywhere on bridges and tunnels. We have one bridge opening on the schedule. That's the Coleman Bridge on 17 between Gloucester and York, and that's for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Got a little time to plan for that. And we have those eastbound single lane closures in the downtown tunnel and midtown tunnel alternating lane closures tonight and tomorrow night as well. Mix of sun and clouds today, 92. Possible isolated showers or thunderstorms tonight, low of 73. Mix of sun and clouds tomorrow with possible isolated showers or thunderstorms and a high of 92. It's a fancy way of saying, hey, it might rain. News is next. Stay tuned for more of Sports Scene. It's 12:30.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. A judge in Baltimore has rejected a motion to dismiss charges against the 6 police officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray. The judge today convened the first court hearing for the 6. Gray was a black man who died in April while in police custody. Backers of the Iran nuclear deal now have the 34 Senate votes they need to make sure that deal survives any challenge. No reaction yet from the Israeli government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which has lobbied the U.S. lawmakers to block the nuclear pact. More than a dozen hardline Iranian students have unveiled an anti-American plaque. It's located at the gate of the former U.S. Embassy in Tehran. For a second day, Hungarian police have been blocking hundreds of migrants from seeking asylum in Germany and other wealthy EU countries. The Dow up 138 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? With Visiting Angels America's Choice in Senior Home Care, your parents and older family members can continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours per day at affordable rates. To restore your family's peace of mind, call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE or at visitingangels.com.
I'm terrible with money. Apparently, a PhD in physics won't help me predict the trajectory of my own retirement. So I work with TIAA-CREF. You get quality, personalized advice no matter what your balance is. For me, they make investing as easy as Newtonian physics.
Advice for everyone. One more way TIAA-CREF is created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA-CREF Individual and Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an actor portrayal. Advice is subject to institutional plan rules. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddie'sPizzaCafe.com.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their 2 locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today. Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
All right, we'll have more of Casey Vick in just a few more moments. Don't forget highlights on gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. Like so many people have, hit the YouTube link on the homepage for archive shows. Also see the piece that Brian Parsons did on Fox 43 by simply going to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube image on the homepage for also Sports Scene archives. Shop in the marketplace sponsors of gjbtv.com homepage and marketplace sponsors. Save the date. Every Wednesday live right here on the radio on 1650 from 12 to 1. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Business Spotlight Scene coming up a little bit later. What teased me off? Sports highlights on nnpstv.com this month. The showcase will be from King's Dominion. Wonderful place up there in Richmond, of course. And that'll be on the weekends at 9 a.m. Also, Mondays at 7, 2, and 7 on Cox Cable 47, 517 as well. And webcast on nnpstv.com. Your home for high school football as well. And, of course, sports highlights since February of 92. And of course, great guest as always. So that's it for highlights. And Ken, we talk about movies all the time too as well. Are any movies coming up before the holidays that people should be on the lookout for?
Well, yes. I was trying to think. There's a few that are going to probably be pretty good, but nothing that's going to be a blockbuster. I think everybody's kind of hedging their bets, knowing that Star Wars is going to eat everybody's lunch come December. So they're kind of holding off. There may be some rescheduling, reshuffling of some things as well. One that we're going to be getting, which is kind of interesting, is the Johnny Depp feature about the Boston guy who essentially ran the city in a criminal sort of way. The word is Depp is completely lost. He loses himself in the character so much that you forget totally it's Johnny Depp, that it is Whitey Bulger, I think his name was, and that everybody else does a great job as well. Kind of like Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side, where you totally forgot it's Sandra Bullock. You saw Miss Toohey there. You didn't see Sandra Bullock at all. And the word is that Depp, this is going to be one of his major dramatic roles that he's done. And like I said, everybody's waiting for December because it's going to be Star Wars.
Now, speaking of dramatic, isn't Owen Wilson in a dramatic movie right now as well? Owen? I don't even know what his name is.
Owen Wilson, the guy with the broken nose.
I don't know. He's an actor. He's he's not to me, he's not a household name, but he's always the guy playing a lighthearted role.
Yeah, he's always with what's his name? The Ben Stiller.
Right. And when you see him in a serious role, it's kind of funny. It was like Jim Carrey. You wouldn't see him playing in like a Wall Street or Mafia movie.
Oh, but he was so good in The Majestic.
Yeah.
That's his best role ever. Comedy, drama, whatever. He was on it 100% on that. He hasn't been on it since, shame to say, but he can act with the right script, right director. He's proven that he can be an excellent actor. That movie certainly proved it. I would like to see him do that again.
Mm-hmm. Casey, what's your favorite movie you want to see coming up?
Oh man, coming up. Let me see.
You looking forward to seeing Star Wars?
Yeah, I'll check Star Wars out. I think I'll check it out.
There you go.
I used to like Star Trek though.
Oh yeah, Star Wars fans don't like Star Trek. I like the Star Trek music though, Kenny.
I just hope the third one is so much better. What a misstep to remake of the Wrath of Khan and then turn it sideways.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, interesting. All right, we'll go back in just a few moments with our business spotlight scene. This is 1650 AM. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has two locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Now, this music can get you pumped up for anything, Kenny.
Oh, yeah. That was such a good score and perfect for that movie.
Kenny, we're not going to get to what teased me off till a little bit later, but people that text and want to have conversations knowing that you're on the radio. Okay, all you have to do, my dear listening friends, especially one who's listening right now in the Midwest, tunein.com, type in WHKT in the search box. Very, very good. And we're glad you can do that. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, talk about drama. Where's the Kardashians when you need them? All right, let's get to our business spotlight scene from High Tide Teas. Let's welcome Brenda Van Dorn. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing today?
Very good. What are we going to do about this humid weather, Brenda? It just continues to go on and on. September's always kind of like this. This is my birthday month and everything, but I'm just kind of over this humidity.
Hey, welcome to Hampton Roads.
I know, you're not kidding. You can always go down to the ocean front. You don't live too far away from Virginia Beach, you know.
Not too far, but I tell you, you can't get away from the humidity around here. You know that.
All right. Well, I'm wearing my HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com T-shirt today, presented by High Tide Teas, and let's talk about your company. What a wonderful company. Tell us everything you do.
Oh, thank you, Greg. We do a little bit of everything as far as apparel goes. We do items for schools. All the schools are starting to open back up, so booster clubs, SVA, PTA, you name it, we can do it for them. Also, businesses out there. This time of year, people are starting to gear up for the cooler weather. So long sleeve tees and hoodies are always a big thing for businesses. So we're there for you.
Very, very good. How do people get a hold of you?
That's pretty easy. The phone number is 757-627-8337, or they can always email me too at brenda@hightide.com.
And you're active, of course, on Facebook as well, correct?
We are. Facebook, you can find us at High Tide Screen Printing.
And, of course, folks, you go ahead, Brenda.
No, I was just going to say, you can, text us at that phone number I gave earlier, too, because we can get in touch with you any way you want us to.
Very nice, very nice. Of course, interactive is so important, too. And give us the phone number and tell us the area you service.
Sure. The phone number again, 757-627-8337. Mm-hmm. And the area is all of Hampton Roads, and we actually have some national customers, some in New York and all over the place.
And you can see their website right there on the homepage of gjbtv.com. Just click the image. It's up there. Very simple. No typing. Just hit the image. It goes right to her wonderful website. Of course, like you said, there's something really for everyone, for adults, for kids, for seniors. There's not one service you can't do.
We pretty much cover it all.
Very good.
As far as apparel goes, shirts, anything like that we can do for you.
So when you say the three things you specialize in the most are A, B, and C, what are they?
All right, short sleeve T-shirts in general, short sleeve, long sleeve. hoodies. And this time of year, I'm doing a lot of tote bags for back to school for preschools and kindergartens, all that.
Very good. Brenda, go ahead and give us your website one more time.
Sure. The website is hightidetees.com.
All right. Very good. Well, you stay cool and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye, Brenda. All right, Brenda from High Tide Tees right there. Of course, Kenny, everybody, I know you love T-shirts. You wear them all the time.
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness the dress code for radio stations is as long as you're not naked.
Yeah. Well, now they got Periscope. Doesn't your buddy on the weekends?
Anyway.
Doesn't your buddy on the weekends use Periscope? Whatever. Sometimes.
Yeah,
don't you like hate using the Periscope yourself?
Well, you know, I haven't had a good reason to use it yet. I was thinking of using it on the drive home, showing people driving on 64 between here and the high-rise bridge. Oh, what a circus and combination of Indianapolis 500 that is.
My goodness, you know, it's so funny about morning talk radio, too, and Ken and I have both had to do it before, but most people, Casey, don't want to have a conversation with anybody, business-wise, till about 9 o'clock. Have you noticed that? Because you try to call somebody at 7 in the morning, they're like, what, whatever. But, you know, and I admire the people that do morning radio every single day, whether DJs or talk show hosts, because most people that's the last thing they want to do is have a conversation at 6 a.m.
Yeah, well, first of all, it takes mentally ill people to do it right, so most people that are in radio aren't right to begin with and don't function like normal people. Second of all, when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, by 6 o'clock, it's everybody else's 9 o'clock anyway, so, you know, you're in the mood.
And the TV thing is even worse because you have to be bright and cheery and smile.
Lord.
And this is going to
makeup and hair and everything else has to look right.
And that's what I was thinking. I was going to get to what teased me off a little bit later, but the people like in New York City where there's no place to park and they're taking public transportation and they're wearing suits and women are wearing formal attire. I mean, they're worried about that's not easy because one person could spill that coffee on the subway and your morning show is done.
Oh, yeah.
Your day is done.
Wow.
That's the thing. You know, you and I don't have to worry about that. People around Hampton Roads, we drive for the most part because public transportation, if you waited on that, you might as well wait till 2017 before you see a bus go by because they're not going to get to you. You are going to be late. But anyway, we'll get to a little bit more. We got What Teased Me Off and coming up, and we'll get more with Casey Vick right after these messages. People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com. Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th.
Opa! Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has two locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their two locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Ken, we had Larry Bonko on last week. We both agreed that George Reeves was the best Superman. I almost thought you were ready to play a sports scene promo here for a second. Yeah.
Well, you are the Man of Steel, so
I
it's
am.
appropriate
Oh, my goodness.
to have this music going for you.
Very good. All right, Kenny Johnson right here. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. This is Sports Scene. Casey Vick up until 1 o'clock right here. Of course, news. Of course, you're home for the Baltimore Ravens. Big show announcement coming up as well. We want to congratulate Daryl Cummings, former Old Dominion tennis coach, starting Saturday, November 7th, each Saturday from 9 to 10. He will be in the studio with his show called Sports Philosophy. Not just sports, folks. Sports, a little business, a little entertainment, consulting. And that's what makes the world go around. Business, economics, sports. He will talk it all. Congratulations to Daryl Cummings, a real gentleman and a real asset to this station. Saturday mornings, 9 to 10, starting November 7th. Save the date for that as well. All right, Kenny, let's get to What Tees Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
Ken, last week those pool reporters that have an agenda, that one guy that was really harassing Donald Trump the entire time. He was more of a nuisance. Trump was right.
Well, a lot of people in media probably shouldn't be in media, and it gives a lot of them a sense of, I don't know if entitlement's the right word, but a sense of superstardom that they don't really deserve. Did I tell you the story real quick? We got plenty of time. I'm going to say a long list of what teased me off. Did I ever tell you the story about the national media guys at the aircraft carrier America when George Bush was in town? I mean, these are major media names. If I told you the names, and I swore up and down I wouldn't say them, so I'm not going to do it.
How about just say one?
If I told you the names of, no, I'm not going to do it. Of these major media people, you know who they were.
Right.
I mean, these are nationally, internationally known media folks. They were standing on an aircraft carrier as they were bringing in the White House press and everything else, and one turned to the other and says, "Why do they have airplanes on top of this boat?"
Oh, boy.
I am not making this up. Two major media guys they sent to the world's largest naval base to cover a former naval aviator, president of the United States, and they didn't know what an aircraft carrier was.
Oh, that makes you cringe.
So they're not all that bright, kids. Sometimes there's a 15-watt bulb sitting behind that desk.
But now with the internet and camera phones, everybody's got a camera phone. That guy thought he was having his own audience within a press conference.
Yeah.
Right. Ken, we always hear about big cities. I'm going to say this again. I've done an internship in New York City. Well, I'm sorry. Casey, you can attest to this too. I'm not a fan of subways. If I cannot drive to work and park in a parking lot, I am not going to go work for a company. Yes, when I work Redskins and Ravens games, we get really good parking. But can you imagine, unless you're like, Matt Lauer or whatever, I'm sure he is not catching any train or subway or bus or cab at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at the Today Show. Can you imagine those poor souls where they can't park? Right. Unless they're paying $50 an hour, probably, Casey.
I know.
Every bit of that. And, well, most of the major media folks you see on TV have contracts where they have limousines.
Right.
Even Regis, who lived literally, I think, 1,000 feet away from the studio where he would do the live show, he still had a limo pick him up and drive across the street to drop him off.
Right. I know,
it
Mike,
was in the contract. You had to do it.
Yeah, I know Mike Francesa does the show on the Fan in the afternoon in New York. He has his own personal driver. You know what? I don't blame him either. To celebrities in Hollywood that say they don't like the paparazzi, well, guess what? You can go move to Idaho or Montana and not worry about it. Really. And Ken, what is the whole fascination with the Kardashians? I'm sorry, Ken. Still don't get it. Who are they? Their dad was probably the most famous one. He got OJ out of jail, and he's probably just rolling in his grave right now. What happened to my daughters and my ex-wife? Who are these people? What have they done?
They have really good agents.
Yes.
With really good PR departments that make them seem so much more than what. I mean, let's face it, they're not hard to look at.
No.
Kim Kardashian, kind of shapely there. My bride's hotter than she is, but still, not too shabby, but that's it. What else have they done? What else did they do?
The young daughters are boring.
There's nothing. There's no talent. They can't sing. They can't dance. They can't act. They're just there.
You're not kidding. I'm like, but people still watch. They got more Twitter followers than anybody.
Wow.
All right. You're the wrong price in the receipts, Ken. When you go and realize that you go to the grocery store, you really don't want to go anyway, or you go into a department store and you go shopping, and then you realize you got to turn back around and, they just double or triple charge me, or they put something into the wrong category.
Happens a lot. My bride scans our receipt. She scrutinizes it like two surgeons looking for a lump. It's ridiculous. And inevitably,
good for her.
She will find something that has gone wrong and has to go back and get the thing taken care of and what have you. But, it happens a lot. You've got to watch. You know, one thing I might recommend, we haven't done it yet. We've been talking about doing it. We just haven't gotten into the habit of doing it. When you buy something, take a picture of the shelf tag, how much it says it is. And then when you get to the register, check as it goes through. And if it doesn't match up, say, hold on there, race car, and show them the picture. This is how much it's supposed to be. So you save your trouble of having to go back.
Yeah. But you do have 20 people in the line, because back in the day, you'd have like 10 lines. Now it's like 3 or 4 lines. Everybody's begging for a line. That goes for fast food restaurants, too. You notice that, too. All right, people who change like the weather every day, Kenny. You never know what you're going to get into.
Get thee to a therapist.
Yeah, or people that you stop at a red light, you're approaching a yellow light, you don't want to get a ticket, and all of a sudden people are honking the horn at you at a red light. Well, guess what? You're not paying my $50 fine either.
Yeah, right.
All right. What tees you off right now, Casey? In general, you're out on the road all the time. What tees you off?
What tees me off when I'm behind somebody and I'm running late most of the time, and this person want to take a time that's tour. Look at left, right, left. Look around like they're in Las Vegas somewhere.
Yeah,
in Newport News.
or anywhere on the south side too. Business hour driving is different from weekend driving. Business hours, people are more buttoned up.
You got to get there. You got to get there during business hours. Weekends, you're just coasting. So I can deal with it on the weekends, but business hours, you got to go.
Can anything else teeing you off?
Well, and that's the thing too. Driving is so frustrating for a variety of reasons. One reason is this is a melting pot area. This is not everybody that lives here did not grow up and live here for the most part.
You and
a
I
lot
did.
of people that came from other parts, and there's other driving habits, there's other driving patterns. People learn how to drive differently from other countries in this area, because you got people from other countries as well. And you try to pick all of that and meld it into one driving pattern. It's a mess. The other thing is, if you can fog a mirror, you can get a driver's license in Virginia. It's ridiculous. There should be a requirement to take a test and pass a course like a pilot does to get a driver's license. Because to me, driving is more dangerous and more important than flying. How many people die in flying as opposed to cars? Cars are much more dangerous. So you should be able to understand the physics of the car, what happens in weather, wind resistance, drag, traction. You should understand all of that, be able to pass a test on there. You should be able to see things. They should be paying attention, scanning horizon. The whole thing, everything you do for a pilot, and I've flown, so I kind of know how the drill goes. But on the other side of that, why they won't do that, it's too many people making money off of it.
Yeah.
The state makes money off of licensing. The insurance companies make money. People selling the cars make money. The tire people make money. The gas people make money, except for Tesla. And everybody's making
and
money
transmission
off of it.
people, too. Anyway.
Yeah, so there's incentive for them
And
to
brakes.
not make it harder. They want more people driving, and so it's free-for-all. Like I said, you can fog a mirror, here's your license.
We could do a whole hour show on whether you should buy a new car or a used car. Maybe we'll do that one day, Kenny.
That'd be fun.
Yes, or the Tesla and the Uber, like you were talking about earlier, too, off the air. All right, talking to Casey Vick here. Final few moments. Kenny, thank you so much, like always, for that as well. What Tees Me Off, presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com and GJBTV.com. I want to thank our good friends at MeCasitaMexican.com as well as Baloo Cafe up in Denby. Football season's here. You know, Ohio State's playing Virginia Tech. Last year, Virginia Tech beat Ohio State. Can they do it again?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm a Virginia Tech fan, but I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah,
I want to see Virginia Tech win, but I think Ohio State got too much steam going on right now.
It's funny, even though your nephew plays for the Steelers, tell us the fan you're a fan of. Team. What team?
What team on what?
Do you like?
Oh, I'm Redskins.
See, there you go.
I've been a Redskin fan since Billy Kilmer.
You were hesitant though. Let me say this about the whole RG3 thing. Let me tell you one reason the Redskins just don't want to get rid of RG3. He's box office. Yeah. You take away he's got the same polarizing feeling your nephew had when he played for the Falcons. Now he's not in any trouble, but here's the thing. He's box office, meaning people would pay to go see him play. You take away RG3 from the Redskins 53-man roster, they're a boring team.
Yeah, we'll be flat.
You know what? They're just boring. The other pulse is D'Angelo Hall, who played with Michael in college. Now, he's got some cachet about him as well, but he's not moving around like he used to.
No, those guys are growing old. Matter of fact, I remember those guys in the Virginia Tech days and everything. But, yeah, like you say, RG3, he's the box-off ticket and everything. Right. So once – I mean, if Cousins really don't produce and stuff, Redskins would be
somebody there. I think the owner likes RG3 a lot, Dan Snyder. And I worked for the Redskins radio for 6 years, and I know they supported the guy. They really have. But as you know, when you're a big-time athlete, you can alienate the locker room. You know that you played team sports when one person, especially a quarterback or a wide receiver like whoever, let's just say back in the day, Art Monk, who is total opposite of, let's say, Keyshawn.
Yeah.
Art Monk didn't say a word. Keyshawn talked all the time.
All the time.
But these star athletes, especially wide receivers, who's the other guy, Terrell Owens, they can isolate their locker room.
Yeah, Jackson and all those guys like that, they just talk so much. But, I mean, some of the guys can produce, but they don't understand that the more things they say can produce, negative success for the team.
Talk about the Steelers open up against the Patriots on the road.
Wow, that could be good.
Tom Brady, we don't know if he's going to play or not.
I don't know the way he got it going on. He'd probably be playing.
He's going more to court than the Mafia's gone. My goodness,
he chopping them down.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the wrong one.
Then the Steelers got the 49ers. Then they got the Rams. And of course, that's their first 3 games. So good luck to them as well. What do you think? Roethlisberger's been injury prone.
Yeah, but he's a tough quarterback. I mean, some of the sacks and some of the dilemmas he get out of, I mean, it's just unbelievable. He's a tough quarterback, and like I said, I like the 1-2 punch. Mike being back up and everything, because they got 2 good weapons and 2 good tough quarterbacks in Pittsburgh.
Give a shout out to your son playing Hampton tomorrow.
Yeah, Casey Vick II, number 3. He's gonna be doing this thing against Hampton tomorrow. Last year they gave him a cheap shot. He got a concussion, so he didn't finish that Hampton game. So he's all routed up, ready to do his thing. So hopefully we can make a good game out of it tomorrow and get a win.
Your son's a well-behaved gentleman too.
Yeah. He's a good kid, real respectful and everything and stuff. So hopefully he can go on and do his thing and get a good scholarship and continue success on the collegiate.
And go ahead and plug your business.
Oh, Casey Vick Enterprises. I do pressure washing. I do painting. I do decks. I do interior painting, whatever you want to do, I got it.
Radio show co-hosting?
Yeah. Radio show co-host. How about a phone number?
757-435-4863.
Very good. All right, Casey Vick, thank you so much, my friend.
All right, shout out to all the audience. Love y'all guys.
Very good. Well, a real gentleman. Casey Vick right there, the uncle of Michael Vick, talking about the past, present, and future. Looking forward to high school, college, and NFL right here again. 1650, your new home for the Baltimore Ravens regular season, not the preseason, which doesn't count anyway. So I want to thank our great guest, Casey Vick. Also want to thank Brenda Van Dorn. For more, go to HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com, GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. The #1 sports interview show in Hampton Roads is Sports Scene. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Happy Wednesday, and we'll talk to you soon.
News is next on AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth. It's 1 o'clock.